Good Saturday morning, everybody. Trevor Thompson, the self-appointed Looney Tunes Critic here. And right off the bat, within 3 seconds, Chuck has already ruined the joke. Hey, it's a script, everybody. Get it? This was a request, Rabbit Rampage. This was requested by Scotty Gaither. Scotty, I hope you're not too fond of this cartoon, at least not so fond that it would offend you to know that I really can't stand this cartoon. This cartoon to me is, it's really funny to me because for like the last, 2 months, for like the last 2 months or so, I've been, running Frizz Freeland cartoons and saying over and over how, Frizz is the guy who just repeats himself over and over. And this is Chuck. Chuck is so gung-ho to do the same thing that he did with Duck Amuck that he completely negates the fact that Bugs, he doesn't this is a good example of when people say that Chuck Jones, when they say that Chuck Jones understood, character the best, I don't know that I would agree. I would say that he concerned himself the most with character. But this cartoon reveals that he didn't really understand Bugs unless Bugs was winning. And that's why, when the Looney Tunes fandom argument of, Chuck versus Clampett, Bob versus Chuck, the thing everyone goes to as well, Chuck understands character better than Bob, and he certainly understands Bugs better than Bob, and I would cite this cartoon as proof that he doesn't, versus which one? The one with the gremlin. I always forget the name of that one. But, Bugs doesn't win in that one. He doesn't win in the Tortoise Beats Hair cartoons. And in fact, that's kind of, what's funny about it is that Bugs in Clampett's cartoons is, there's like a pendulum, of swinging left to right. On the left, shows the capacity for how much Bugs can be a winner. But he can be so used to being a winner that when it spins out of control, his capacity for being a loser is so much greater, and he loses all semblance of control. And in this, he's really trying to maintain control, but he's also doing it with an air of, confidence and all this. And that's what I liked more about when Clampett would have Bugs lose. He would lose big. Also, the real punchline to Duck Amuck was that it was Bugs messing with Daffy. And the punchline here is that Elmer is messing with Bugs. And really, I'm not saying that Bugs couldn't be outwitted, but he certainly couldn't be outwitted by the likes of Elmer. There's not enough about this cartoon. There's not enough justification for the end result, so to speak. In other words, Chuck just wants to do the same cartoon again, but with a different character. And it's like, well, that character doesn't really work for this. It's kind of like in King Arthur, Bugs Bunny and King Arthur's Court, where Daffy is King Arthur and Yosemite Sam is Merlin. And King Arthur and Merlin are heroes. And they're not villains necessarily in the Looney Tunes world, but they're certainly not heroes. Not even comic heroes. But because Chuck has to give those characters to somebody, and because Bugs has to be the hero of King Arthur's Court, it just doesn't work. So maybe, and it's a beautiful cartoon. Don't get me wrong. This is, to me, that's kind of what Wabbit looks like sometimes. And New Looney Tunes. Sometimes I'm like, wow, are they trying to just... And that's not a knock against Jessica Barutsky, by the way. She knows what she's doing. She's also working for other people. But yeah, it is. It's a great looking cartoon. It's just a shame that it doesn't really deliver, and it doesn't really respect the characters. I'm looking at my notes here. And I don't know why, because all right, look. There's a few things to be said here. I've said them all, though. Doesn't really feel right. Doesn't feel like a good cartoon. But we can try again next week, right? All right, see you here same time.